Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's Monday review time in association with Man vs Fat Football, where if you subscribe and sign up to the Gillingham or Chatham Leagues, you will receive a big discount if you use the code Gills in the Blood. So if you are wanting to lose weight and play football with like-minded individuals, then go and check out their website. Details will be in the description and in the graphic at the end of this video. But obviously, the main point of this chat is looking back at the weekend defeat, unfortunately, which was against high-flying Wigan Athletic. They came to Kent, having had their 5-game winning run ended in the week at home to Sheffield Wednesday. But we always knew it was going to be a very tough test regardless. We was going to have to be at our best and hope that they were slightly off it. And we competed. We were very good for the main. So let's have a look at the game in more detail. We knew that the Latics were going to have most of the ball, didn't we? They've got good players, they've got good technicians, they've got strong options all across the park. You only had to look at their substitutes bench to realise the task that we were up against. The likes of Gavin Massey, Gwion Edwards were coming on. They both played championship football. The likes of Curtis Tilt, Stephen Humphreys on the bench didn't even come on. That's the strength in depth that the Latics have got. And we knew, like I've said already, that we had to be at our best to give ourselves a chance of getting anything. First half, could have taken the lead. There was the big chance for Dane Oliver. Jack Watmore missed his kick. Unfortunately, Big V, I think, didn't quite expect it and his touch got away from him. Otherwise, he's clean through on goal one-on-one with Ben Amos and you'd back him to slot it away if he'd got the ball under control. The other big chance was for John Akindi, up and under from Reece Bennett. To be fair to Big John, it's a superb first touch to bring it under control out of the sky. Then a little flick of the right boot. Similar to the Dane Oliver finish on Tuesday night that ended up nestling in the back of the net. Unfortunately, Ben Amos stuck out a leg and kept it out. We also had the Danny Lloyd free kick that was tipped over, wind assisted. And in terms of their best chances, I think it was a free kick for Callum Lang that went straight at Jamie Cumming. And the only other one I remember was a cross that got deflected off David Tatonda and hit Jamie Cumming in the chest. Aside from that, though, I thought we were decent, we were competitive, we were resolute, solid defensively. We were keeping ourselves well in the mix and competing and trying to cause problems when we did have the ball, albeit not having it as much as we'd probably like, but that is the way we set up, don't we? We tend to play counter-attacking football. We get the ball from back to front quite quickly and then we get our better players on the ball. Second half, I thought we come out really well. Started really bright, series of throw-ins, couple of corners, some free kicks. We got into good areas. The big chance again fell to John Akindi. Superb cross from David Tatonda from deep on the left-hand side. Akindi gets just in front of his centre-half, I think it was Kellen Watts, and directs a header goalward, but Ben Amos makes a fairly comfortable save diving to his right. But John Akindi done pretty much everything he could do under pressure from the centre-back. If that goes in, it's a different game. Unfortunately, we switch off for the first, don't we, a little bit. It's decent play down there, left-hand side. James McLean, who was pretty quiet throughout, gets a decent ball into the box. And looking at the highlights, I think, unfortunately, it's Danny Lloyd's man. If you look at it and freeze it, Max Amar and Reece Bennett, the centre-halves, are picking up their players. David Tatonda himself is tucked in to pick up a wide attacker. And then, unfortunately, Lloyd just allows Max Amar to run him round the back and nod in from a couple of yards. Then it was going to be tough. We knew that we'd have to be a bit more open and we'd have to take a few more chances, and that would obviously leave us exposed. Created more chances, though, didn't we? We didn't sit off, we didn't back off, we didn't stop believing. We kept trying to have a go. Second goal's decent with about 10 minutes to play. Gavin Massey, who came off the bench, it's a brilliant ball inside the fullback between, I think it was Robbie McKenzie and Max Amar, the centre-half, who gets drawn out. And from there, it's Derikwa, the left-back, who I'd mentioned in the first half that it was pretty sensible to just see him on the outside because he didn't have a left foot. But he puts in a decent ball with his right stick. And Will Keane gets across his man, little flick into the bottom corner. Jamie Cumming, no chance. And that's the class they've got. Will Keane recently called up to the Republic of Ireland international squad for the first time. So congratulations to him. Well deserved for the start to the season he's had. But we were still creating chances. We had Gerald Sitto was lively when he came on again. Cross-come shot that Ben Amos has clawed off the line. Robbie McKenzie, header from a Carl Dempsey corner. Ben Amos makes himself as big as possible and it hits him in the chest. Does he know a lot about it? Probably not. But if you look down the years at great keepers like Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman always used to make themselves as big as possible and give themselves a chance, and it's a wonderful stop. If that goes in with 5 minutes to play, you never know. The Rainer men would have been bouncing. We might have sucked in an equaliser, but it wasn't to be. And you have to give credit to Wigan Athletic that they took their chance to go 1-0 up, and from there they managed the game pretty well. Caught us on the break for the second and were, despite a couple of scares, probably just about worthy winners. But that's not a result that's going to define our season, is it? They're up there for a reason. They've got bigger resources than us. They've got bigger squad than us. They've got better players than us. And sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, we got done by the better side. And I think Saturday was definitely a case of that. Looking at the opposition in more detail and their best player on the day, I think it was a tight call between the two fullbacks. Tendanye Darikwa was very good at left back, despite being predominantly left-footed. He's involved in the second goal, ultimately the clincher. But for me, I'd have to give it to Max Power. Like Darikwa, he constantly provided an outlet, didn't he? They always seemed to have an overload, especially first half. As we adjusted to it, we was having to desperately get out to try and help the fullbacks. Power's delivery was very good, decent enough defensively in a position that's not his, natural position. He's a centre midfielder by trade, I think. Pass completion rate was decent, constantly got on the overlap, and of course he scored the first goal, which ultimately meant that we had to change our game plan slightly and chase things. So for me, the best Latic player on display was right back Max Power. In terms of the Gills player ratings, I don't think it was a bad performance by any means, especially first half where we stuck to our game plan. We were resolute defensively. We worked really hard out of possession. We created them chances, the ones for Dane Oliver, John Akindi, Danny Lloyd's free kick. More by luck than design, the last one, of course. But we were causing them a problem one way or another. And we were very, very good in that first period. We got into the break at 0-0. And from there, we're always confident, I think, of pinching a goal shooting towards the Rainer men's second half. But Wigan's class eventually told, didn't it? So in terms of player ratings for us, Jamie Cumming, we gave a solid 7. Didn't do anything wrong apart from one punch, I think, that he come and got nowhere near. But he's made a couple of tidy saves. His distribution was decent. In terms of the back four, we gave Robbie McKenzie and Reece Bennett 6.5. Both were solid enough on the whole. Unfortunately, McKenzie, I think, could have been a bit stronger for the second goal, but by no means a poor performance. Nearly nicked himself a goal at the end. Max Amar, though, and David Tatonda, probably the better two in that back four for us. We gave them both 7s. Max has really settled into life again, hasn't he, back in Kent, and has been very good. And was very good Saturday and Tuesday with a partner that's not familiar to him in it not being Jack Tucker. So that was the back four. In terms of the midfield, we gave them all 6.5. I think a lot of them were good first half and then not as effective second period. So they all got 6.5. Alex McDonald worked hard like he always does, carried on with an injury, a cut to his shin, I think it was. Daniel Adseed was very, very bright first period, was pinching possession and turning things over. But he just went off the boil second half for us. There was a few times where he got in the right position and then either pinched the ball and had a poor touch or nicked possession and gave away possession cheaply again, unfortunately. But we're certainly seeing signs that Adseed's coming on and will continue to get better with more games. Carl Dempsey, again, busy, trying to make things happen, same as Danny Lloyd, but it just didn't really happen for him second half. So that gives them the 6.5 rating from us. And we gave the front two 6.5 as well. For Dane Oliver, worked hard, won his battles. John Akindi, he's had a couple of half chances, the one with the outside of his right foot, the one with his head. One of them goes in, it's a different game. And yeah, Gerald Sitar was the only person who came off the bench and we gave him a 6.5 again. He was lively, he works hard, he wants to be involved, he's nearly scored with a cross-come shot. So that's our match ratings. Final section is Gills' man of the match. For me, it was a player that was getting a little bit of stick, from myself included, at the start of the season when he first arrived. I kept trying to say that we was bearing with him because he'd had a COVID hit pre-season, but how long could you keep using that as an excuse? But there's been real signs in the last 3 games that David Tatonda's really starting to improve and make that left-back berth his own. That was the 20 minutes when he came on against Charlton. Last week at Cambridge, he was absolutely solid, and he was again on Saturday after a slightly unsteady start when he got nutmegged from about 40 yards in the first couple of minutes. But he settled down after that, was willing to put his body on the line. He was making blocks with his legs, his head, his chest. He got up and supported the wingers. He got good balls into the box. 78% pass completion, 72% of his duels won. One big chance created, 50% cross completion. Like I say, one of them was for John Akindi when he nearly headed it into the bottom corner. And yeah, I think we're just starting to really see the player that Steve Evans signed in the summer now, and with match games and match fitness, he's getting better and better. There's still things to work on, but I think David Tatonda's performance on Saturday was comfortably his best in a Gillingham shirt. Right, that is it for this week's Monday review. Unfortunately, I couldn't talk to you about a positive result, but by no means was it not a positive performance. There was certainly stuff to take away from the game against a side that for me will be right up there come the season's end. As I said right at the top of the video, they've got plenty of options all over the park. The fact that Stephen Humphreys, who's decent at this level, has only made one start this season tells you all you need to know about their forward options. And then they've got the likes of Curtis Tilt, international second centre half, doesn't even get on the pitch. So they'll be right up there for me. Liam Richardson's doing a great job in terms of my pre-season prediction for having them in the playoffs. I'm quite happy. Obviously, I'd have liked them to have lost at the weekend. Myself and Boz will be back Tuesday evening. We are going to watch the stuffed crust pizza game against Ipswich. 7 o'clock kickoff at the Priestfield Stadium. So hopefully see a few of you there. Please continue to check out the third tier. It is only a Twitter page at the moment. Tom's taking some time away, so the pod's not happening on a regular basis, but there is still going to be content going out on the Twitter page. And you know where we are: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Get commenting down below and let us know what you thought about Saturday's performance. Like I say, looking forward to Tuesday night. Football is football for me regardless of the competition. But until next time, up the Gills.